All right, let's just briefly touch on the Giants game. This was what I expected. The Eagles are the best team in football. I don't know if it's particularly close given what we're seeing out of the Bills and the Chiefs right now. The Eagles are just so complete. They can beat you anyway.
It's
They
really
can beat you on the ground. They can beat you in the air. They can beat you with your pass rush. They were sacking Daniel Jones every single second. The dude had no chance. The Giants have Isaiah Hodgins, who I know is producing, but again, this is like the only person that seems to be able to catch a ball in this offense. I've never seen a receiving room so horrible in years. I mean, maybe in my entirety of my Giants fandom has there ever been such a horrible receiving room. Um, they just never had a chance the entire game. The only reason that they had points in that first half was because of a blocked punt. And then right after they scored that touchdown to Isaiah Hodgins, a special teams complete misfire where the Eagles return the punt all the way into their own territory and then they score again. The Giants could not stop and could not keep up with this incredible Eagles team. And it's like Julian Love also going for the interception. Julian,
Yeah,
I
yeah, I was
literally,
gonna bring that play up. That was the I think that was the most difficult thing for me, and I also think it was kind of emblematic of their day. Was that it was also kind of some of the soundness was not carrying over, which had been carrying over for the
yeah.
most of the games that he like you said, diving basically out of bounds and then letting.
Well, what happened was it was fourth down. The Eagles decided to be very aggressive and go
Right
for it. It
and
was like
go.
4th and 7 or something
Yeah,
like
no, it
that.
was a wild
Yeah,
down distance.
and and they were up. They just wanted to completely stomp on the Giants' throats. More power to you. I understand it. Again, like I hate the Eagles, but it's hard not to like this team. I like Jalen Hurts. I
Mm.
like AJ Brown. I like Devontae Smith.
I,
I might even like Nick Sirianni. I don't even
oh
know
yeah,
yet.
yeah, I'm in.
But that I was literally out loud, just praising. I said, this is my boyfriend. Like I was like, Julian Love just makes the smartest play every time. Every time. I mean, he really does.
I think I've said that I think I said on the show that on the show either last week or the week before. I was like, he's just a smart player.
He is. He is. I
And he is.
mean,
He really is.
he is. But he had like his brain. He left it on the bench or something like that with that play because he went for an interception. It was fourth down. You shouldn't. You go for the pass breakup, and he was like trying to dive in front of the. It was like you bat it down, or I don't know. You attempt to dislodge the ball. He was diving for an interception.
He also could have just um I guess I just was thinking it's such a high variance attempt in the sense that if like we saw what happened is that on the 99% chance that is too difficult to do, it will lead to a touchdown.
Yeah.
Or if you get it great, like you said, I mean it's fourth down either way. If you got the breakup, it would be turnover and downs regardless. But the outcome of going for it and it not hitting is much greater than just trying to break it up and seeing what happens.
Yeah.
Like,
And I mean, look, it's also I think Wink Martindale sometimes tries to get those guys to play over aggressively.
oh yeah, yeah, it's kind
And
of like a philosophy.
but
question,
and so
probably.
but at the same time he should have known better. He's a veteran player at this point. And but AJ Brown, there's just no stopping him. I mean, he's clearly a top 5 receiver in the NFL. And he's also apparently just so humble and normal and works really hard, is a great guy on and off the field.
Yeah, he's just like he's a delight in post game interviews.
It is
I
unfortunate
absolutely love him.
that they are so nice. Him and Jalen Hurts are just great guys by all accounts because I want to hate you guys. But they're just so good.
He's also just added so much to his game from when he was on the Titans, which I think is the most impressive thing for me. I just thought he was a more one-dimensional receiver than he is now when he was coming out of Ole Miss and also like with his first few years. He's now like really an all-around threat. He can basically do anything you want. He can make yards after the catch if he catches something in short yardage situations. He can burn. He's burning DBs going up the sideline or in between or in the middle of the field. And also he's just like he's he's a real amazing combination of being a very smart player but he's also just so overpoweringly strong
He's so physical
that that
and
that it's
fast.
just so right that it's just so hard to cover because either he's boxing you out basically he has a strength advantage over a lot of corners, or like you said, he's burning people
I
if
mean,
that doesn't work.
that is why I think physicality in a number one alpha receiver, and those are a little bit fewer and farther between these days because of just how many receivers there are. But that is an underrated quality. Justin Jefferson's very physical. He doesn't
So
drop balls. Just Jamar Chase. I mean, we could talk about the Bengals and their overall physicality, their defense, and their passing game has physicality, which is very rare. But Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, AJ Brown. Tyreek Hill's the outlier, right? He's just so special. But and then the other guy, Devontae Adams, those are the five best receivers. And Debo, maybe
I'd put Devontae over
I
Debo,
would too.
honestly.
I think sometimes Debo gets a little overrated because of the how well he fits into
And it's
Shanahan's
also
scheme.
and
But
it's also not just purely
he's great, and
receiving for
I'm
him.
sorry to hear that he was so. It
No,
was horrible to
it was
watch him so
terrible. I'm
injured.
so upset about that, but
I like Debo a lot. I just feel like if I were to choose, those would be my five.
he's also more of an. He also does a lot of stuff that's not just purely pass catching, also, which I think is the
Yeah.
difference. Is that like you're not using Devonte Adams out of the backfield to like do a run play or something, whereas like
Yeah.
he just purely just like route running skill level is just an amazing wide receiver. But I totally agree with you that I think especially with matching up against certain teams, physicality can sometimes swing a matchup. If certain corners either are a little lighter or like either shorter, lighter, or just not really accustomed or ready for that physicality, they can just lose whatever leverage they're trying to maintain
Yeah.
in a matchup.
Right.
And I think AJ Brown can absolutely do that. And also, to his immense credit for being a smaller guy, Devontae Smith does not play like a smaller guy. He doesn't shy away from contact. He doesn't shy away from mixing it up and getting if he gets rocked, he just gets right back up despite being maybe at this point 195 pounds. Or
Oh
something
my
like that.
God.
I mean,
I can't even believe that that is.
he was 175 when he won the
Yes.
Heisman. He is not super heavy, but he is really tough for his height and weight, and he's also just like has some of the best hands in the league as well. To have both of them on the same team is like
It's ridiculous.
unfair.
It's unfair. I mean, I just hope they don't win the Super Bowl this year and then they finally have to pay Jalen Hurts and then the team falls apart. Fingers crossed.
yeah, that would be really nice, right?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
No pressure.
Yeah, I mean, just that's what I hope because as of now, they are the Super Bowl favorites, or they should be. I mean, they're definitely the NFC favorites.
Yeah, the issue I have is that it's there whereas we were talking about certain matchups with like for example where we were saying that there's a clear weakness to exploit with a team like the Dolphins, for example. Like make Tua think a little bit more, make him stay in the pocket a little bit more, cover up his weapons, basically. Make him make mistakes that he wouldn't otherwise
Take
make.
away their RPO.
Yeah, take away the RPO, take away the play action, like that type of stuff. There are no clearly discernible ways to point out pressures or weaknesses for the Eagles because when they are met with a matchup that doesn't benefit one of their play styles, they just do another
They
one.
just do the other one. Yeah. They can win close games. They can win blowouts.
Ugly games, like it's like like your run defense is better. Jalen Hurts will just carve you up through the air, and then if he needs to, he'll check it down to himself and run the ball on either design runs or out of structure. If the pass defense, if the secondary is way better, why don't we just get Miles Sanders and Boston Scott to have, Miles Sanders to have a 1,000-yard rushing season? Miles Sanders,
I know.
a
Who
1,000.
I don't think is very talented, but he's
1,000-yard
good.
rusher.
Yeah.
And Boston Scott, another guy who I did not think was very good either.
He's a
who is-
giant killer, though. Boston Scott.
who is now like an effective running back, and all of these guys you can just slot him in. Kenneth Gainwell, you just put these guys in and they just score. Like it is also of course a virtue of having Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, the best center in the league, Jason Kelsey, like. But that's their strength is that you want to try and beat us by run stuffing, we'll gash you other ways, or if you want to try and beat us by breaking up passes, intercepting us, we'll just let our bunch of maulers just push the pile until Miles Sanders has 1,000 rushing yards. It's really it is an overwhelming onslaught every time they play.
Yeah, and
I'll just say nothing of their defense.
Say nothing.
Still good.
Still good. Yeah, very, very much good enough.